This is Kathy Chase. I'm going to go over some definitions. The first ones I'm starting with are in the Webster's Dictionary. Adder. Certain members of the family of true vipers. They're snakes of the Sahara, or the puff adder of southern Africa, the British adder. They should really be called natters with the word N. The letter N has vanished, and then it says see also orange, and then after the word adder there's the word ajar, A-J-A-R, and it says see chore. As I talked about the word barrack, or barracks, missing one R. If you roll your R's in Spanish, that's Spanish. You roll your R's in Spanish. Stop, drop, and roll, fire. And then R as in sign language is your fingers crossed. A is fist. And when people die, there are some, I don't know if it's Roman people or somewhere in history I read about it, they'd put coins over people's eyes. Also, I don't know if you've ever watched enough TV, when you see people in the coffins, they have their arms crossed across their chest. In sign language, that means I love you, or love. That means the word love. But the word barack has two completely different meanings. The oldest use of the noun relates to the place where soldiers are lodged. Generally in the word's plural form, barracks. Italian baracca. The Spanish word baracca meaning tent in all three languages. The phrase barack, room lawyer, was first used to refer to any argumentative soldier given to disputing military procedures with those in authority, and was subsequently applied to any insistent but unqualified giver of advice. The meaning of barack as a verb is Australian in origin, in the sense of making a hostile demonstration at a sporting event or performance, often by clapping or cheering. Ironically, the word derives from the Aboriginal Australian borak, which was first used in 1880 at cricket games, being brought back to England from there by visiting players. Cricket, Jiminy Cricket is a reference. Cricket is a game in darts, basically. And then using me in my life, e.g. in the beginning of my my maiden name, e.g. meaning example. He's trying to make me an example to bring down women, white women, or basically to fearmonger. People might remember a year or two ago he had on the White House lawn some sort of fear thing with Comedy Central, basically mocking me. And the CIA has the No Fear Act. Okay, when you're in the military, when you make the bed, I've seen this or heard about this, you bounce a quarter on the bed to make sure the sheets are fitted tightly and everything's, very precisely done when you do your chores in the military. Also, they do white glove tests. Also, at funerals, when somebody from the military has died, of course, you have a folded flag in the shape of a corner. Very important. Around funerals, There are sometimes tents if it's supposed to rain or whatever. You know, there's turf around grounds of funerals and the coffin. And as you know, the whole football thing and references, you know, football, the definition of barack, and then footballs have ties on them, and so do shoes, and so do what you wear. You know, you wear bow ties, and then regular ties, and then ascots. So yeah, he definitely planned this using me. Definitely, not a doubt in my mind. I have some more definitions I want to go through that I came across, and they start with the PO word, like PO, poi. Poi. Poi is a Hawaiian dish made of the root of taro, T-A-R-O. And I talked about the Goodyear plant in my foot. Poi, P-O-I, and a Hawaiian dish made of the root taro. As I talked about, they use certain coordinates, Seoul, Korea, locations, and the locations. Rand McNally is a major distributor of maps. There's a couple other ones. Rand McNally, Einstein's theory, E equals MC squared. E equals MC squared. Seoul, Korea, North and South Korea, MASH, Section 8 housing, which I'm had to endure right now, or looking for, because, you know, I'm pretty much trapped in my surroundings and what to do. He's obsessed with killing me, obviously. I have done nothing wrong. I'm not responsible for what's happened to me in my life. I am not military, and I'm not CIA. I'm not FBI. If you walk on your tiptoes, it's like the term walking on eggshells. To tiptoe around things, or, you know, to walk on shells is to be careful. Caution is orange or red in color, usually orange, I believe. To poach, there are two different P-O-A-C-H, kind of like the word peach, only with an O. To take game or fish illegally. To trespass on another's lands, especially to steal game. To cook an egg in hot water but without the shell. A pock, a pustule, I can't pronounce the word. P-U-S-T-A-L-E, pustule, on the body, eruptive disease as smallpox, a mark left by such pustule. Pocket, a small bag inserted in a garment for carrying small articles. A bag or pouch, any pouch-like receptacle, hollow or cavity, a cavity in the earth, especially one containing gold or another. A small bag at the corner or side of a billiard table, suitable for carrying in the pocket. To put in one's pocket, to take possession of, to endure without protest or open resentment. to suppress. A pock mark is the same as a pock. Basically, it's a mark or a pit left by a pustule in smallpox or the like. A poco, P-O-C-O, music, somewhat. A pod is an elongated two-valved seed vessel, as that of a pea or a fruit with several seeds to produce pods, to swell out like a pod. P-O-D, pay on delivery. Everybody knows COD, C-O-D, cash on delivery, postal department, postal. And I talked about the word poi, P-O-I. P-O-I-L-U, loo means, in British terms, loo means toilet. Just so people are aware of this. P-O-I-L-U, a French common soldier. Poise, P-O-I-S-E, a state of balance or equilibrium, composure, self-possession, stability, to balance evenly, to hold in position for casting, using, to be balanced, to hang, supported or suspended, to hover. Spin the bottle, Twilight Zone, and the whole trippy effect, the whole, fear-mongering me, and this post-traumatic stress disorder, and how if you do LSD, some people have flashbacks, and people who have gone through war have flashbacks, and that's the relation. Okay, the hokey pokey. Put your left foot in, put your right foot out, the hokey pokey you do skating, roller skating. There are several different words, definitions to the word poke. To thrust against or into something with the finger or a stick, etc. To make a hole one's way by thrusting, to thrust or to push. To force or drive by pushing. To directly fun at a person or thing, to make fun of someone. To thrust obtrusively, a thrust or push. Here it says a poke is, second definition is a bag or a sack. Poke definition number 3, a projecting brim at the front of a woman's bonnet. A poker, one that's a metal rod for poking or stirring fire. Poker, a card game played by 2 or more persons in which their players bet on the value of their hand. Most of these, as I said, are P-O words, as in post office. Postal stamp is 44, the first class is 44 cents, and the current president is number 44. Polecat, definition. An ill-smelling, long-haired member of the weasel family, resembling marten. Any various North American skunks. Okay, you had Pepe Le Pew in cartoons, right? Okay, polecat, the weasel family. Long-haired member of the weasel family. Okay, Pop Goes the Weasel is the song that's played in Jack in the Box. And as I talked about, Blackjack 21. I also talked about leap year. It's a leap year. Things that have to do with things that jump or leap. Frogs, toads. We had Tony the Toad when we were little. He was in an aquarium. They bury themselves in the sand, and we'd feed them crickets. Okay. Pole vault. Definition. A leap over horizontal bar with the help of a long pole. Then you have like politics and police and all those words. Here's another one. Poll tax. P-O-L-L. Poll tax. A tax on the individual, the payment of which is a prerequisite to exercise the right of suffrage. Poll tax. P-O-L-L. Poll tax. A tax on the individual, the payment of which is a prerequisite to exercise the right of suffrage. Polo, a game played on horseback with mallets and a wooden ball. I think it's more of it's kind of a, from what I know, polo is played a lot in Europe. Then you have Marco Polo, Venetian traveler of Asia, as I talked about, and Imelda Marcos and her shoes. She's from the Philippines. Marco Polo was a traveler in Asia. Politi. There is actually a band called Scritti Politti from the 80s. But anyways, the word politi, a particular system of government, a state or other organized community or body. As I talked about the whole joke and the potato thing, Polak is, you know, people from Poland, I guess, are called Polacks, but I don't know a whole lot about it. The joke about how many does it take to unscrew a light bulb. Anyway, Polacks is a fish of the cod family, and as I said, cod, you know, is a fish, but, you know, it also means in the postal department, cash on delivery. People trying to solicit my life, basically. Polly is a common name, I think, for parrots, and then you have pirates with parrots on their shoulders, and you know how a pirate dresses with a peg leg, and you have Pegler Cisco people that have been involved. Polyanthus, a hybrid primrose, a narcissus, and many varieties bearing small white or yellow flowers. Polygamy, people having several spouses. In the four corners, I'm not at the computer right now, but Colorado is one of the states that border on the four corners. The only parts of Colorado I have never been to would be down where Durango is, which is the southwest corner, and I have not been to the northwest corner of Colorado, but I've pretty much been everywhere else in Colorado, pretty much for the most part, so that's very important. Polygon is a shape, a figure, a plane figure having more than 4 angles and sides. A politburo, P-O-L-I-T-B-U-R-O, a committee in the Communist Party of the Soviet Union which examines every question before it is referred to the government and sometimes issues orders independently. Okay, here are some important ones I'm going to be going on to, more important, just as important as when I first started. I think the first ones and these here are very important. As you know, ports. You know, you have computer ports, you have telephone ports, and you have shipping ports, types of ports. Okay, I'm going to go over different definitions of port. A town or place where ships are loaded or load or unload. A place along the coast where ships may take refuge from storms. on the left side of a ship. The left side of the ship. Port. And I talked about pocket definition. Now I want you to make sure you remember Wallaby, and then the baby Joey, and my daughter Autumn. Don't forget that. As I was saying, port definition. There's telephone, computer, and boat, like nautical ports. I'm going to go over those definitions. A town or place where ships load or unload. A place along the coast where ships may take refuge from storms. The left side of a ship, on or pertaining to the port. To turn or to shift the port. Port definition, the other port definition. A very sweet wine, usually dark red, originally from Portugal. 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 And port definition, another definition, nautical, a porthole. Now this is a big one too. Port and military. To carry a rifle with both hands in a slanting direction across the front of the body with the barrel or like part of near the left shoulder. The position near the left shoulder, the position of a weapon when ported, carriage or bearing. Portal definition, a door, gate, or entrance, one of imposing appearance. This is important. We have the German, some restaurants will have in and out, or in parking lots you'll see in and out, right? Sometimes you see the word entrance. Trance. Trance is another name for being under hypnosis. Just so you're aware of that. As I said, portal, a door, a gate, an entrance, one of imposing appearance. Definition, porter. One employed to carry baggage as a railroad station, an attendant in a parlor car or sleeping car. Porter definition number 2, a doorkeeper. Porter definition number 3, a heavy dark brown beer. Poppy. We talked about Popeye, Sailor Man. He has a can of spinach up his sleeve, Chicken, what I'm talking about. And Lee's chicken, and then Lee's was who we had the lawsuit with the propane, the fire. Anyway, definition, poppy, any of certain herbs with showy flowers of various colors, including one species which is the source of opium, and extract as opium from such a plant, orangish red scarlet. And people can look up, this is aside the fact, well, poppy fields, I believe, are in Vietnam or in Asia. Vietnam, of course, the Vietnam War, and so forth. The word poppycock means nonsense or bosh. Bosh. Nonsense. And I talked about the no-nonsense pantyhose. Poppycock. Cock. Cockfights are illegal to do, meaning, the bird fighting, and, inhumane to animals, and not legal to do here in the United States, but is done in other countries. I have not looked up my mom used to call me Chatty Cathy when I was little, and I don't know why she did. I think it was a doll, or it was something from a song or something from many years ago. I don't know if it was the 60s or something. She always called me Chatty Cathy. I don't know why. I think it's an old song or something. But Pop and J definition. Pop and J, and you know J's are birds, and if you jaywalk, you illegally cross the street. Pop in J, a vain chattering person, a fop. Well, I'm not vain. I'm just trying to get out of my situation alive. And then I talked about the definition of poppy. It's the poppies fields from opium. They're orangish red and scarlet in color. Orangish red is scarlet in color, and then you have the scarlet letter A. People who know history and such know what the scarlet letter A is about. It's about adulteresses during New England. In New England, people were beheaded, and witches, or there was, witches were beheaded or whatever. They would call people witches, and they would behead them, and basically they used a chase name to chastise me, and use the Eggers name and the Robins to basically tar and feather me, and to all these sideways things. Poplin, a corded fabric of cotton, wool, rayon, or silk. But as I was saying, I lost my train of thought there for a second. The scarlet letter A was women had to wear a big A on them if they had committed adultery. And so, yeah, I worked with Shannon on A Street, and A Street was where the insurance company was, where I worked, and that's where Clock Tower, Animal Clinic is at, and Clock Tower, Shopping Strip Mall, Butheris, Mazer and Love, Funeral Home. A Street goes all the way out to Lee's Chicken, pretty much, I think. Well, not, maybe it's, which street is that on? I have to think about this a little bit. Maybe it's Van Dorn that goes all the way out to Pioneers Park, and I talked about Pioneers Park with an Indian blowing smoke signals out there, and a statue, Pinewood Bull. There's pillars out there that make it look kind of like Greece, and lakes, and a lot of pine trees. As I talked about pits, and the definition under pits, very important. P words are very important in the dictionary. The definition for pitfall, which was also a game, a concealed pit prepared as to trap for animals or men to fall into, a trap. And when you have tourist traps when you travel, and then Mousetrap is a game that has a bathtub and things like that on it. I used to have the game Run Yourself Ragged when I was a kid, and it's kind of a maze type of game with a metal ball that's magnetized when you go across the little lily pads. There's little lily pads under the metal bars. Examine that game very closely. Run Yourself Ragged. I had the original version. Examine that game closely. Everybody knows, I've spent most of my vacations and traveling in Colorado in my life. As I talked about, Cannon City, Royal Gorge, the bridge there, the federal prison, I believe it's a federal prison or penitentiary of some sort. Estes Park, where the Stanley Hotel is considered a tourist trap. Things that you wear on your lapel, I talked about the military stuff. And they'll wear the medals. They'll wear their all their medals. Their wings, if you're a pilot of a ship or like an airplane pilot, they have wings. And then all their medals, you'll have the Purple Heart. And then other things you wear on your lapel would be like flowers, or a handkerchief. As I talked about, Laverne and Shirley, they had monograms. You know, Schatz Brewery, the bottles, the bottle I stepped on, the broken beer bottle, and Bert and Ernie wear striped clothing, and Bert always wears, you know, he always has a pigeon collection. You have homing pigeons. A pigeon. He had a bottle cap collection, and he liked pigeons. He likes pigeons, and pigeons are mail carriers, and the way it's spelled. On Gilligan's Island, they had headhunters and a lot of quicksand, which is, you know, a trap. A piggy bank is what you hold coins in. Beggars usually sit on corners for begging for change. Pigmentation. Pig stick, to go wild boar hunting using a spear. I'm thinking of the movie with the boys that were stranded on the island. I can't think of the name, but I had written it down. They would go after the boar. A pigsty is a place for pigs. Pigs is also slang for police. And then you have, of course, your pig toes or pigtails in your hair. Like I had pigtails in my hair when I was little. You got heads or tails on coins. And then you have a sty in your eye. You can have a sty in your eye, and you can also, you know, Pigpen from Charlie Brown, Charlie Starkist tuna, mistletoe. Then I said, you know, Charlie Starkweather, Mr. People who are trying to ship me off to death is a frickin' serial killer. Using Charlie Starkweather. Starkist tunas in a can with a mermaid with a tail. Mermaids don't exist. Charlie Brown, he's a clown. Charlie Pride. Charlie Daniels Band. Jack Daniels whiskey. Charlie Manson with a swastika on his head. You know, he did the mass murder. Crazy man. Definition: pied, P-I-E-D. Having patches of 2 or more colors as various birds. As I said, whoever did this studied dictionaries very well, and that's probably their only degree, is studying words and being very, very well spoken. Because they know the dictionaries very well. Pickaninny. It says a Negro or colored child. A pickaxe, a pick, especially a mattock, a pickaxe. Then you have the whole derogatory thing with people who pronounce axe, and you have acts and laws and acts in the Constitution. Different acts, AX or AXE. There's 2 different spellings of the word axe, AX or AXE. You can spell it either way. Ox, I think, is kind of the same way. I think you can spell it OX or OXE. But axe And then you have acts, as in laws, A-C-T-S. An ACT is a test in school. Essay, essay, test, E-S-S-A-Y. I'm not a test, that's for sure. I went to school way after, you know, I went to school in the 80s and 90s, late 70s, 80s, and 90s, and, you know, as I said, I was only 6 years old when the wall came out. And the number 6 is pretty relevant. As I said, there's, and the 666, 3600 block of Calvert. Calvert was my pediatrician growing up. His daughter has, also Calvert, is in a Clock Tower Animal Clinic. She was our veterinarian for our pets. Our cat Fluffy, our first cat, Fluffy, was buried by out about 5 to 10 feet from the electrical boxes. We had an electrical easement on our property. And Dr. Calvert is now retired, my pediatrician, from Lincoln Pediatric Group. It is now, it was used to be on Normal Boulevard when I was little, and in recent years they moved, and it's now in Elizabeth Park off of 70th Street. The interstates that Colorado is very relevant. The interstates that go through Colorado is Interstate 25 that goes north to south. East to west is Interstate 70, and I talked about the number 70. Zip codes, zippers on clothing. There's a lot of zippers out there, probably manufacturers. I just remember seeing a lot of X's on zippers. And I talked about tic-tac-toe, and all the things that X represented. X marks a dot, circle. X marks a spot, circle, and a dot. X on a treasure map. X, I don't know, people who claim to be my ex, but I don't know who, you know, who that would be. I dated Randy Scott Traver before Rob, and I don't have a boyfriend now, and I haven't had one. Not anybody that's more than acquaintance or a friend. I have not had a boyfriend. I do not have a boyfriend. But yeah, P words are important, but and you know, zippers, zip codes, and then the X thing. The only word that comes to mind is xylophone. And you know, the Fisher-Price xylophones you have when you're kids, they're all rainbow colored. I don't know if the Jack in the Box that we had when we were kids was a Fisher-Price toy, but we did have one. The little clown head pops out. Their Jack, he looked kind of like a clown. I don't know. But yeah, really creepy stuff. And I don't know what these people are doing because I'm not yellow. And if you must be talking about Barack Obama or George W. Bush or one of these other people, because I am not yellow. I'm a mother of 3 children. You know, I'm not yellow. Don't call me names. And don't talk about me to other people. And you only have one option, and it's to talk to me directly. You cannot backstab me to the public to try to get me killed. They're not going to let you do that, just so you know that. They're not going to let you do that. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not responsible for what's happened to me in my life. I can't be held hostage because you want to go around being irresponsible and play games with my life. I'm not a game. I'm not high street 3200 block 32-bit game, your game. Pitfall games, Frogger, Old games. Think of all the games that have been, since the beginning. That was Atari games. Nintendo has the N forwards and backwards, and then the 10, and then the DOE, DOS, RAM, C prompt, A prompt, run, run, run. Windows, well, I don't know. Windows are not really mirrors, and Windows is not a flag. Okay, that's not what you see when you turn on your computer. You don't see flags, you see windows. That's what the pictures are. It's on a flag. Flag football is a game we used to play at Zeman Elementary School. You'd have a red or a yellow flag in your back pocket, and then instead of tackling, you'd pull out the flag. It's just like dodgeball. We played dodgeball at Zeman. We played with the parachute, the rainbow-colored parachute, a real parachute. And we used to put balls on it in Mr. O's class, and play popcorn with it, or like hot potato. Hot potato like you do with balloons or balls. Basketball games. We used to have a basketball hoop in front of our house. We used to play around the world, or horse. Things that are considered lucky, but they do everything the opposite. You throw a salt over your shoulder, I think is supposed to be considered lucky, but I'm not really sure. I didn't read very much about it. And then I'm not getting married, and I don't have a boyfriend or anything. And then rabbit's feet. You got rabbit's ears, rabbit's feet, and then horseshoes you're supposed to hang above the door. They're supposed to be lucky. And four-leaf clovers. I don't have any four-leaf clovers. And I'm not a member of the 4-H club. 7 is actually supposed to be a lucky number. But it's not for me, evidently. I have evidently the 7 dash military RFID in my foot. Evidently, I'm pretty sure that's what's in there, because it makes all sense to me, and it put everything together. Mistletoe you hang in doorways. You put horseshoes over doorways, and then all the other definitions with doorways that I just went over. Doors. You have like bellboys, or bellboys is what I'm thinking of, at hotel rooms, and shoe shiners. Right around where you check in or check out. It's kind of funny, how you scan groceries, with the codes. That's how they scan your groceries. And they do it in Europe too. They do it with people with their hands. People buy their groceries with their frickin' hands in other countries. So we're behind the times. Here in America, other countries do it. And what's foreign to people here is like, they probably think we're really strange and odd here for what they've been doing to me, because they are so much more advanced in the technologies. Japan, I know the United Kingdom uses the RFID, and other islands they use it, and I think Australia uses it, the RFID in the hands. They pay for their groceries. They use it like a credit card. Okay. As I talked about the Einstein, Einstein, the light bulb over your head, Einstein, E equals MC squared, and Rand McNally, things that start with MC. Well, McDonald's is one. McDonald's, Donald Duck, Daisy Duck, and Louie, Daisy Duck, and I don't know. Donald Duck and Daisy Duck. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Hue is another word for color. Hue is another word for color. Hue. H is a sign for hospital. As I said, I'm getting punished I've been punished with military protocol and laws and holidays and all these other things. Military protocol, you know, I tap danced, and I took tap at Nancy Stanley. You tap a phone, Maxwell Smart, Maxwell Coffee. My dad was talking about Gojo cleaner. Gojo is an old cleaner. Gojo is an old cleaner. And all these cleaners. I don't know. I don't know what these people are doing, but they don't want to stop their game evidently, because I can sense it's still going on. I don't know why. I don't know why you want to be so hateful, why you're so into hurting people that don't hurt other people, and why my life would be any of your business when it's not. It's not legal for presidents to do. I know it's not. And abusing me publicly. I'm not yellow. Don't call me names, because you must be talking about yourself. So, I'm not yellow. Pineapple is yellow. Bananas are yellow. These people are bananas. Cocoa nuts, well, these people are coconuts and bananas. And then pineapple, product of Hawaii. Dole products, bananas, pineapple. Pineapple is yellow. As I said, the Arbor Day, we are in the state of Arbor Day. Nebraska City is not very far from here. We'd always go there to get apples in the fall. Pine soul, my feet. People will think that they can have sold their souls because they're just evil. They think money's more important than being good people. And I don't know, I don't think we have a Christian president at all. I think he is trying to beat me down because I'm a woman, and I think he's really trying to get at that women should all dress in headdresses. The people who own a Hypnotic Change, his wife wears a headdress, and they are Middle Eastern descent. Just so people are aware of that, I've been there. She wears a headdress, and then the whole thing with addresses makes me really uncomfortable, because didn't really profile or was stereotyping, but seeing as how I've been treated, I have a right to now, because he is obviously anti-American, anti-human rights. 60 Minutes, as I said, my baby book had the number 60 on it. SEC is the Securities and Exchange Commission. SEC is also short for second. 60 seconds in a minute. Or SEC is short for section 8. Sections of an orange. Section 8 housing. When I talked about the things that you wear on your lapel over your heart is on the left side of your chest. and you know, handkerchiefs, monograms were popular when I was littler. We had me and my sisters had monogram sweaters. And then you have the Laverne and Shirley thing. You have soldiers with the medals on their chests. And people wear corsages and things like that, usually when they go to sometimes a prom, a school event, or a ball or some sort of thing. You know, you have Cinderella and things like that. And corsage at a funeral, I guess that's what they're thinking. I don't know. I think they're very, very, very sick in the head. I don't see how Barack Obama can be a lawyer at all, because I think he's following the laws of a different country, because people have been so inhumane to me. They just came along out of nowhere and started beating me up, you know. It started out slowly, and then it gradually built up and built up and built up and built up and built up to where it's at now, and it's been so manipulated, and that's how they plan it, because look at what year we're at. And I'm not his EG, his example of fear-mongering and terrorizing women, and I doubt he's Christian. I really doubt he's Christian. I believe he's a Muslim. Obviously, he would have to be. I don't know what the Muslims totally believe in, and I consider whatever they're doing to me as being some sort of, you know, using my, you know, you've got boot camp in the military in my foot. You've got mistletoe. You've got like the foot rot that you get, or like gangrene. Soldiers get like foot rot from the whole you know, when they're on a land war, like in Vietnam, they'd have that a lot, going through the jungles. And he wants to make me some sort of backpack terroristic bomb to kill me with a pacemaker, playing musical chairs or something. I'm not a musical chair. I'm not here to be his little music game or whatever he makes his claims to be, but he has never confronted me in a court of law, and he's never been consistent. Boom definition. We used to have boomers here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't know if it's still here. It's kind of like a Kinko's Boomers printing company. Boomers, to make sound, to flourish vigorously, to push or cause vigorously. A boom is a nautical sail. It is a boom is a long spar to extend the foot of certain sails, a chain of connecting floating timbers serving to obstruct navigation, to confine floating timber, etc., a beam projecting from the mast of a derrick. As I talked about the Capitol building and what's on the corners and how they've been there for a very long time, antelope and Hitchcock would be on the left side, on the on the southwest side of the Capitol. The northwest side, which is also the left side of the Capitol, would be the Otoe County, and then in the middle are the door is one of the doors, and above it says Hooker, as in Hooker County, Hooker. Hooker County has always been there. Hooker County has always been above that, in that location. People trying to legally fish for me, people that are trying to legally kill me from a distance with a pacemaker because I wore a turtle shirt when I was little or some stupid crap. Pace as in music, and pace as in snail mail or something. I don't really know. I haven't killed anybody. I'm not on trial for murder. I've never been confronted for any problem whatsoever. They just are backstabbing me. They're basically backstabbing me, trying to get me killed. And I wish somebody would put a stop to it, because nobody can speak on my behalf. I've already told you that. There's not a single person who can speak on my behalf. And I resent the presidents for treating me this way. You should have left me alone. There's no reason for you to be playing this with my life. I'm not your game. I'm not a football game. You have the quarters. You have the halftime. I don't know. You know, laws of Nebraska, divorce laws. Women are entitled to half of everything. 50 estates, Hawaii, 50, the number 50, and you know, this is really sick. You can't use music. Government doesn't do this to people. And presidents can't do this. Government doesn't do this to people. Government can't do this to people. What's happened to me, government can't do what's happening to me and what has happened to me. And you can't kill me because you were never supposed to do what you're doing to me. You can't kill me. You can't do nothing to me. You have many malls, you know, that are called in Lincoln, Nebraska, that have the plaza name. A public square or open space in a city or town. And I talked about Tiananmen Square in the Soviet, I think where's Tiananmen Square? You have different squares. You've got Times Square, High Times Magazine, which is for marijuana. You've got Times Magazine that dates back before the Vietnam War. To clock someone is to punch somebody, and it's a letter A. And sign language. And I talked about people locally. Ira Hum from Lincoln, Nebraska. I worked with his wife at the time. I don't know if they're still married. Kim Hum, Humm, and Ira spelled the same way as you have IRA, as in taxes. I don't know where they get this stuff about taxes, and then the tea taxes and the Tea Party and the Boston Redcoats or whatever. But when I lived next to the Parks family, they always had tea, like the Lipton kind, which you buy in the gas stations for 99 cents or whatever. They'd always have that at their house, and I liked it, but we never bought it at our house. And it's like pre-made tea, you know. So that's what's crazy. And I talked about Phil Parks worked for Miss Lee Chevrolet before. Now it's Miss Lee Park Place Chevrolet. It was called Park Place, and you have, as I said, Monopoly. Miss Lee Park Place changed its name to Husker Auto here in Lincoln. I don't want to just die because a couple of people think they're too good for me and they want to separate certain people from other people, and they don't think they're too good for me to talk to me, to just say that they want to just kill me. You know, why would you just want to walk up to somebody or come up to somebody and say, oh, we want to kill you now because of things that aren't your fault and for things that have happened to you illegally that shouldn't happen to anybody in this country, especially this country. And what people have gotten by with thus far is brutal, but barbaric. You're just very barbaric people, and playing trick or treat, smell my feet with my life, and trickery, using trickery to make me famous, and then trying to use that fame to manipulate, mongering my life, and thinking you can own my life or barter my life. To be like a pimp of my life. You're not my pimp. You don't own my life. Presidents don't own my life. You can't own my life. It's not possible to be owned. I'm not a slave. I'm not your music sweatshop, entertainment industry sweatshop, where you sit there and pocket all the change, where I sit here and suffer in pain, and you sit here and use me and my children as, you know, your little experiments with RFID. I'm really getting tired of this rumor crap. And I'd really appreciate media not comply with wearing colors in which imply killing me against the Constitution of the United States of America, and to segregate me like they have with their colored game, and to belittle me in my life, and to mistreat me and abuse me, and all these human rights violations. And they abuse my shoulder, especially my left shoulder, all day long, right around my collarbone and my left shoulder. Before all this fame, I was not abused at all, and it came out of nowhere, and I didn't know any of this stuff, and the stuff that they're abusing me for is not my fault, and they're lying, and they're lying, and they're lying, and I've proved them wrong, and I wish they'd stop lying to me, because they sabotaged my life into making me famous by attacking me, and they have no compassion and no empathy for a mother and her children. And I'd like to leave this country. If nobody's going to do anything about these people, and they think they're going to frickin' use diversion, which is illegal, to try to kill me, and use slander and defamation of character to make claims about me that are false, then I want to leave the country. And I would like the military or somebody from government to help me and my children get out of the country. We have that right. You can't entrap me into the country and my children into the country for things in which you are unwilling to help me with. When I'm asking for help from my country, I'm asking for help. I didn't know about there being a problem. I'm not responsible for there being a problem. I don't know what to do, and people cannot speak on my behalf. There's no legal way you can get around talking to me or forging documents to say I'm this or I'm that or I'm this or I'm that, because it's not true. People know I'm competent to talk, and for you to be so vulgar as to expose me like this as a female, that's why you're calling me names, because you don't want to, they're trying to cover up the fact that I'm a woman, and they won't provide media because they're cowards, and they're lying. They're lying about the fact that I'm a woman, and saying all these things about me, but they're the ones who expose me. They've exploited me. They've slandered me. They've abused my body. They've had other people abuse my children. And, you know, everybody can clearly see that there's no media here, and that you're trying to commit murder in the first degree 25 years to life murder of my life, and you don't care. You have no disregard. You have no regards for other people's life, no respect, no empathy, no compassion, and you are vulgar for exposing me like this because you're on some sort of S&M chains and whips kick with sexual perversion to do this to a woman and then do this to my daughter. You're perverse. You have issues. You like to exploit women and children for profit and pander them, and that's where the Chinese star comes in, and your Lone Star. If you go through Texas, you see red stars all over their bridges. And as everybody knows, the China star is a red star, I think. And I'm American. I don't know if I really want to be here anymore because the way I've been mistreated, and I'm tired of this abuse. My mother cannot speak for me. There's nobody in my family that can speak for me, especially my mother or my father or my sisters or anybody else. There's nobody. I know what your trickery game is about. It's about people manipulating other people through the grapevine to try to get what you want, to commit murder. And everybody in Lincoln knows about the money that's going on, and the people that are trying to people have been just trying to solicit my life left and right. And you can't do that.